Hey guys, today I'm going to say that this is a very critical point in Andrew Yang's campaign. If he can meet Oprah, I think he will do a lot better in Iowa and New Hampshire than if he doesn't. Oprah is a very successful older African American woman. Why that's important is because we struggle with each of those demographics. We struggle with African Americans. We struggle with older Americans that grew up watching Oprah, and we struggle with women. So Dave Chappelle is really good because he fits two of the demographics that we have problems with. Now, Oprah fits all of them. So imagine all the media attention of Dave Chappelle and now compounded by another level because Oprah is a woman. That's what you would get if these two people met. And this hashtag, thanks to the Yang Gang, has been really, really good. Hashtag Oprah Meet Yang is third in the US trending charts with 46,000 tweets. That is a lot. As I mentioned, Andrew Yang is very popular on Twitter. He's very popular in Twitter, I would say Facebook, then I would say YouTube, and then all the way in the bottom, I would say LinkedIn. But that's okay because I can help him on LinkedIn. So I think if they did meet and had a discussion like Tucker Carlson or Ellen, just a really fun, it would really reach the demographics that we struggle to reach. No amount of TV commercials can do what Dave Chappelle did because it's real. Like when you're watching a TV commercial of fluff, you know that it's a TV commercial. You're not being tricked. And let's be quite frank, the TV commercials are relatively fluffy, and they are, for lack of a better word, fluffy, they're weak. If you watch Bloomberg's commercials, they're very strong. They simplify his whole campaign in a few sentences, which is why Donald Trump has pretty much done incredible on TV his entire life, because you got to dummy down. Most voters are not that active, nor do they care that much. They just want a meme or a takeaway sentence. And if the takeaway sentence is Oprah Winfrey supports Andrew Yang, or Oprah Winfrey has Andrew Yang on his show, that's what the takeaway is. You don't even need to know what they talked about. The same with Ellen and Dave Chappelle. And Donald Glover. He has met with these people, but even just the sponsorship or just being on the show or kind of an endorsement, if you will, definitely from Dave Chappelle, that's all people care about. People do not care about the minute details of why Dave Chappelle likes Andrew Yang. They just know, I like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle likes Andrew Yang. Okay, I'll give it a shot. That's the same with Oprah. That's why this is so much more powerful than spending a couple $1 million on a TV commercial. Because no one remembers the TV commercial. It doesn't have the call to actions. It doesn't have the basics of a good TV. I mean, if you want to look at a good TV commercial, Bloomberg has them. Because he runs media. He is media. Donald Trump knows how to do a good TV commercial because he's been on TV his entire life. That's what he wants. He wants attention, and he's really good at getting it. And so is Bloomberg. Bloomberg he definitely understands the demographic targeting, and I think Andrew Yang's campaign does not understand that at this point in time based on the commercials they keep putting out. I watch them, they're very fluffy, but they feel like, to be quite honest, they feel like a commercial for baby diapers or something. Like very family, and there's two kids. I get it. But at the same time, that's not what's effective because people are not going to remember that. Outside of Andrew Yang fans who already are going to vote and donate to Andrew Yang, I don't see who these commercials are targeting. Bloomberg is targeting people who may not even like him. And he makes his point very clear in his commercial. It's 30 seconds, and he gets his point across very well of why you would want to be interested. And that's the same with Oprah. So our headline is Oprah meets Andrew Yang. That will be Dave Chappelle times 2. in terms of media coverage, in terms of post coverage, pre coverage, actually the interview itself. And it reaches the demographics we really cannot reach at this point in time. I'm going to make a commercial video for Andrew Yang explaining universal basic income for the Hispanic and African American community, because I think a lot of them have no idea what it actually means in their real lives. Like in terms of household, I'm a single male who's 32, almost 33. I have a dog and cat. I pay property tax. I pay homeowners association fees. The house across the street from me, there's 10 people who live there, 10 adults, and then some kids who live there. They pay the same homeowners association fees I do. They pay the same property tax. They pay the same school tax. But under Andrew Yang, their household would receive $10,000 versus me receiving $1,000. And because I buy luxury items, I will be taxed. So I will be taxed $10,000 from Andrew Yang, receiving $1,000. And the family across from me, and a lot of multicultural families, especially in the Hispanic and the Mexican communities, where their grandparents live at home with them, or the grandparents maybe own a home, the parents live at home, the kids who are 18 could go to college, they live at home too. At least in my area in Humboldt, Texas, that's how it is. You might have 10 different cars in the parking lot or in the driveway, and then in the side street. If you've ever lived in Humboldt, you'll know that there are cars on the side street, the sidewalk, parked along the sidewalk, just everywhere. I promise one day I'll do like a dog walk type of live stream so you can check it out. But for a African American or a woman or someone over 40, they know who Oprah is, and they're like, oh, Oprah. Bam, that's it. That's all they can remember. The time, because of our mobile phones and because of our tablets, the attention span of the average human being today is less than 3 seconds. That's how long you have as a marketer to capture their attention. Otherwise, even if they're watching the commercial, their brain kind of goes to dead because they're like, oh, commercial. Let me just put my brain on pause until I can get, until the TV show goes back on. So I think this would be one. In terms of value, I would probably put the value at $50 million. So all the money we raised for the last 2 quarters, Oprah can give us more PR, good PR, than the fundraising, than TV commercials, right? Which would be more impressive? Meeting Oprah, talking with Oprah, or some TV commercials? Duh, I mean, it's pretty easy. So we should spend our money and resources getting in contact with people who can help us, and actually, once we explain the idea, it's okay. So right now, it's okay if you explain an idea to your neighbor, to someone, and they don't like the idea, but at least they heard about it. That's where we are now. We're not at the point where we can discuss openly with most Americans what the idea is. We're still in the education point. And the more celebrities that get educated and that endorse this, because Oprah's a very smart woman. I think she's worth $1 billion or something. She'll immediately identify that, yes, universal basic income will disproportionately, in a good way, help Hispanics and African Americans. Because when they tend to, when you have more adults in one household or per square foot, you pay less tax per adult in terms of all the property taxes and state taxes and local taxes, but you get all the benefits. So Homeowners Association is the example I use, is I pay the same amount as the house next to me, even though I'm one person. But if you divided the house next to me and there's 10 adults there, they would pay 1/10 of what I pay, but still have the same amenities. And a lot of things are like this. Internet, for instance, we all pay the same amount of money, basically. And even though I'm one person using the internet and the household is 10 people using the internet, and maybe there's a household that's empty that's still paying Wi-Fi, and 0 people using the internet, it's the same amount of money. But when you divide per person, that's the misunderstanding right now. It's a huge misunderstanding of how it actually scales in real life. So if you, like, a lot of people still think student loan forgiveness is better, which makes no sense because assuming your parents and grandparents don't have student loans, which I hope they do not at this point in time, they can give you money that Andrew Yang has given them that they have not received yet. They're not currently receiving universal basic income. No one is, right? Maybe like one person. So your grandparent, let's say you have two grandparents and they're nice and they're getting this $1,000 they're not receiving right now. And they give you $2,000 and your parents give you $2,000. And maybe you have a brother who is, even in the scenario that your brother doesn't want to give you money, you have $4,000 plus your own $1,000, $5,000 a month times 12, that's $60,000. That's enough to go to Harvard. And you still want student loan forgiveness over universal basic income? Because unless your whole family is massively in student loan debt, it doesn't make any sense because it's scaled per household. That's what you have to look at. And disproportionately, African Americans and Hispanics, they live together to save money, right? Anyway, or if you're a college student and you live at home with your parents, you have no idea that your parents pay property tax, homeowners. You probably don't realize this, but they do. And just because you live with your parents doesn't mean that they pay more of this. They don't pay any more property or local, state appraisal, school district tax, because the house is what's paying it. The square footage or the appraisal value of the house is how in Texas most people, the government gets money from us. Anyway, long video. Hi, guys.